England, 1644. A time of war, civil war. All hell has broken loose. It is a time of destruction. The fight between royalist and radical parliamentarist has erupted. Chaos is sure to ensue. The world is falling apart. I am only a man seeking understanding, seeking true reason. I would go on a journey all throughout Europe to further my understanding of man. Along the way, I would write many documents, articles, and books to share my thoughts with the world. November 1644. As one of the few who support a sovereign leader rather than a parliamentary system, I feel as though I am a marked man. I must leave England and flee. I seek many answers to the questions I have. Why must man destroy each other? When will the corruption end? Why is man's self-interest greater than the interest of the greater good? To find these answers, I will journey to my mentor, a priest by the name of Father Robert. Father Robert was a long-time friend of mine, a very bright Dominican, young in age but wise beyond his years. He would know what to do in these times of great peril. Father Robert, it's good to see you.
Thomas, it's good to see you, lad.
Good. Do you have a moment? I'd like to talk to you about some things.
For you, lad, any moment is good.
Would you walk with me, Father?
Of course, lad. Let us go. Thomas, how are you?
Doing well. I might go to Paris. I cannot think here. The Civil War has been so hectic. How are you, Father? Have you gotten much time to practice?
Well, Thomas, times have been tough on us all. But in these most troubling times, we must turn towards God, not swords.
Aye, but Father, if people turn to Christianity in their faith, it will only make this problem worse.
Do explain, my boy.
Well, I believe man should be obedient to his rulers. If he's obedient to God, he will be less obedient to his rulers.
But my boy, the two can go hand in hand. One can be faithful to God, but at the same time serve as leader faithfully.
If God is merely a distraction, he will be less faithful to his ruler.
My boy, you are confused. Man is good-spirited. Such undying faith to one leader is ill-disposed to man's soul.
Father, man is corrupt. He will do anything in his power to further his own gain.
Thomas, you must first consider God. He is our creator, and we are made in his image and likeness. It is from his goodness that we have our own.
I believe men are created equal. We all have our rights and freedoms. However, if men are not kept under rule by a sovereign leader, they will become fearful and destroy each other.
Thomas, do not be so quick to disregard faith, for it is with faith and reason that we understand our lives. They are mixed in such a way that they should not be separated ever.
Father, man is like an organism. Without all the pieces that function, without a sovereign power, it will cause quarrel, fear, and eventually death.
Thomas, it sounds to me like you're calling for a dictatorship. Must we sacrifice our human rights for order?
Father Robert, you've always been a great mentor to me. But man is always at war. There will always be conflict as long as the thought of war is present.
My son, you speak as though humans are pure evil and there's no good in them.
Well, Father, you know I'm not one to talk about religion. The church exiled me.
Thomas, my advice to you is follow your heart, but do not disregard God. Always keep him in mind.
Aye, Father. I best be going. I think I'll head to Paris and write down my thoughts.
Paris. That's a good idea. In fact, I know a few Dominicans in Paris.
Oh, do you? Thank you for your help, Father. You've been a great help today. Take care. It's been a great pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Thomas. Go with God.
Thank you. I would begin my journey against the great English Channel. I went to Paris and studied physics, primarily the moving body and momentum. I also wrote a short treatise called The Elements of Law, Natural and Politic. My most famous work would be a book called Leviathan. In it, I compared the government to a monster, consuming any other inferior society within it. This work was extremely controversial, as many people did not want it to be published. I felt it necessary though, since we are in such a great time of peril with the Civil War. Things were not going well in England. The parliamentarists were turning the tide against the royalists. It was only a matter of time until they would emerge victorious. I would be a wanted man should that happen. I had to flee Paris to remain out of sight from English spies. I would take refuge in the Fontainebleau forest, a forest swamped with thieves and smugglers, but on the outskirts of the British reaches in France.